Hi students, in this video we're going to talk about persuasive. So first of all, what does persuade mean? It means to convince. You've studied persuasion for some time now in school, but we're going to take it up a step this year. So why do we persuade? Well, we persuade others to try something, we persuade others to buy something, or we persuade them to believe something. So if you think of try, buy, and believe, that'll kind of help you bring you back to the reasons why we persuade others. Persuasion is done through advertisements, pamphlets, brochures, flyers, letters, and essays. Not only those areas, but these are just to name a few. So let's talk about the 8 persuasive techniques. They're right here. There's a lot there, I know it, but we're going to talk about each one of these one by one so we have a better understanding of what they are and how to use them. So first of all, let's talk about appeal to authority. It says important people or experts can make your argument seem more convincing. Using reliable research can help your argument seem convincing. So something like doctors recommend, teachers believe, or according to the American Dental Association. Those are some things you probably heard in TV ads. Well, here's a few examples, kind of give you some ideas. You have some authority figures here, and if we're followers of these people, we tend to be convinced to try them out ourselves. That's appeal to authority. Now we're going to talk about appeal to reason. These are facts, numbers, information, logic. These are things that are very convincing. For example, 9 out of 10 people believe this. Over 10 billion served, 80% of Americans. Here are some examples of what that looks like. Logic is very supportive. Facts, data, those kind of things kind of help drive an argument. Give some good reasons why, especially if you're going to spend money. You want some reason, like if you look at the gas ad right there. Kind of gives you some ideas of how you're going to save in the long run. That's appealing to reason. Now we're going to talk about appeal to emotion. Everybody has an emotional side. And if you get people to feel happy, sad, angry, well, not that we like to get people angry, but sometimes that can help your argument. We've talked about some of these things. We read books. There are parts of the books that make you angry. However, that's what the author's intending to do, to get you to understand what's going on in the particular situation. If you look at homeless pets, starving children, polluted communities, these are just some examples of how appealing to emotion is used to persuade others. Again, appeal to emotion. The next one we're going to talk about is appeal to trust. If you believe and trust, if people believe and trust in you, you're more likely to persuade them. And it goes the other way around too. If you believe in somebody, you're more likely to trust what they're trying to tell you. Things like, believe me, I've been there before. Well, that's some empathy. He has many years of experience. Well, that kind of makes me think twice if I want to try maybe a doctor out or maybe a mechanic. And I've been going to that restaurant for a long time. Well, there's trust in the public. So here's some examples of how appeal to trust is used in our media. Again, appealing to trust. Next, we're going to talk about plain folks. This one's a little tricky. People will believe you if you appear to be, it says an average Joe, but that's another way of saying an average citizen. He's just a regular guy. She gets her hands dirty too. These are things you may have heard. They don't spend a lot of money like people think. Well, because they live like the average American or the average citizen. So here's some examples of how they use plain folks in advertisement or in these particular statements to show that it can have. If you look at the one in Nationwide, it talks about knowing what farmers need. They know farmers inside and out. That it really hits home to a lot of people who are in the farming community. Bandwagon. Bandwagon means everybody's doing it. If everyone believes it, it must be true. Everybody's doing it, you can too. Popularity, styles. This is all bandwagon appeal. So here's some examples to kind of show you how everybody's doing it. Again, the bandwagon. Join the bandwagon. Hop on. Everybody's doing it. Next one is rhetorical question. You're not really asking a question you're expecting to be answered. It's just a way to kind of state the obvious, kind of pose a question, make people think. This isn't like in second person where you're talking directly to somebody. You're just making somebody think. So, who wouldn't like to win money? Ooh, free money? That's just a rhetorical question. Are you ready for a change? Well, some of us may be. Would you like to decide your future? That's the first question I asked you this year when we started school. Well, here's some rhetorical questions. Do you drink bottled water? It doesn't say if it's good. It doesn't say if it's bad. Whether you do or you don't, doesn't really matter. It's just a rhetorical question. Same thing with the other two examples that are there. Again, a rhetorical question. Repetition. We've talked a lot about this one. Repetition, the rule of three hits home when you think of, we've done a lot of this kind of practicing already. If you repeat information or present information in a repeating pattern, people will remember it and they'll believe it. So jingles, sometimes they get stuck in your head. You're like, I can't get that song out of my head. Well, there's a reason for that. Same thing over and over again. Again, that's repetition. Here are the 8 persuasive techniques again. I'll put them on a screen here so if you can go back and watch this video again, or you can stop it so you can take some notes. But again, appeal to authority, appeal to reason, appeal to emotion, appeal to trust. The plain folks, bandwagon appeal, rhetorical question, and repetition. Those are your 8 persuasive techniques. You're going to be choosing one of these in your future assignment here. So you probably want to get familiar with one of them and get a little bit more comfortable with it, because you don't want to throw a lot of these out at one time. You want to stick with one and get stronger with one and then build from there. This has been persuasive. If you have any questions over this, you can definitely shout out at me. But hopefully this will give you enough information to get started with where you're going. Bye.